Um, Hello, guys. Shalom. I want to talk to you about a reason of how you can truly overcome your sin, and I want to explain it very clearly to you guys. So, what? First of all, sin goes against God's nature, right? It goes against everything that God does, who God is, and His holiness is the purity of God and the love of God. Since God is so pure and loving, everything that goes against nature, like killing or fornication or smoking weed or damaging your soul or doing all of these things that destroys, it goes against love because it destroys you. Okay. And I know, guys, a lot of you guys who are Christian, you're fighting so hard against your sin, or maybe you're not fighting against your sin. Maybe you're comfortable in it because you're comfortable in it because you don't really understand its gravity and how to overcome it. But if you're either comfortable in your sin or fighting against your sin on your own willpower, I want you guys to know that that's the wrong way of doing it because you're not supposed to fight it on your own willpower. What you're supposed to do is give this sin in God's hands and have something that is very important: faith. Faith in what? Faith in that God will deliver you from this sin. Because the deliverance from the sin and the overcoming of sin ultimately comes from the action of the Holy Spirit. Ultimately, it comes from what the Holy Spirit does in your life and what the Holy Spirit makes you be as a new creation, as a new being, as I explained in my previous video. So, you're not supposed to fight sin on your own strength, like, because that's why you are in a cycle, because you're fighting sin on your own strength, and you're not really relying on God's power. What you have to do is have a little faith. It doesn't matter how small the faith is. You just gotta have a little faith in that God will help you overcome the sin, and that He will, and you have to be certain that He will make you overcome the sin. You have to be certain of this, because the internal war is against your faith. The war that the devil wages is against your faith, against your trust in God, against your love for God. Remember, the greatest commandment is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. So if you're not loving the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, it's because you're not really trusting in Him. You're running from Him. You're scared of Him. You're hiding from Him, and that's not okay, guys. Because God will not scold us when we come to Him. He will not be angry at us when we come to Him. He will have His arms open. So also a principle, a basic principle of overcoming your sin and of the spiritual battle of a hold on, I'm gonna say it again. A basic principle of overcoming the spiritual war and a survival tactic of spiritual war is when you sin, you run to God and you confess the sin and you say, God, I'm sorry, I love you. Please purify me of this, help me with this sin. And when you do that, you're going to start to be changed, and you're going to start to become a new creation, and you're going to start to actually overcome your sin and actually live in holiness, because it's purely by the grace of God and by the action and the work of the Holy Spirit that you're able to overcome any sin. It's not by your own willpower, and because you're doing it on your own willpower, that's why you're stuck in a cycle. Instead, have faith and give that sin in the hands leave that sin in the hands of God, and He will work it out in you. Of course, you also have to take action, like, you have to take that also drastic action, like, cutting off temptation, leaving the environment that makes you sin, also trying to resist temptation. But ultimately the true work from comes from the Holy Spirit. And if you trust in the Holy Spirit to make you overcome your sin, you're gonna be 100% free, and you're gonna be 100% satisfied, and you're gonna have a transformed heart. If you just have faith, you just have to believe that God will work it out in you, and He will. And if you have this little faith, you will be able to overcome anything. It's by faith you overcome. And this is the battle that many of us rage and wage against, and I know it's very hard, but um, that's the quintessence of it. We have to trust in the grace of God to make us overcome our own sin. But it's purely by the action of the Holy Spirit. It's not by your own willpower. It's not by your own strength. It's by the strength of God. And this is what relying And surrendering to God also is. You surrender to God when you give your sin to Him, and when you say, God, I put this sin in your hands, please make me overcome it. And this is also a very good tactic to wage against the devil, because the devil will also throw thoughts at you that, oh no, God doesn't love you, or God is evil, why does God have wrath? And he will throw all these thoughts at you to make you distrust God. He will make you have feelings of hate towards God and blasphemous thoughts, and he will make your heart even like grow for trouble, and grow in distrust for God. But when all of these battles and all of these attacks from the devil come, what you have to do is just give it in the hands of God, and just have faith that He has it in His hands and that He will work it out, because He can overcome anything, because He's omnipotent. So this is basically what I'm talking about. And this is what you guys have to do in order to overcome sin. And if you follow this, you will surely overcome it. But thank you guys a lot. Goodbye.